Welcome to the After Hour Pod. We are Eastside Academy. It's your boy, Mr. Productions.
It's a boy section.
Hey,
Hey. All right. This is the first episode. So, of course, thank you to Mr. Productions for putting all together. You know, it's been like months in the making. This is gonna be something we'll look back at and laugh. It's gonna be like, wow, we just finally did something. Because we've been talking about this for so long. We're gonna get into some topics and hope you guys, like what you see. Of course, please like and subscribe, comment anything you want us to talk about in the future. Let us know. Take it away.
Eagles fans. Today is the day. Packers versus Eagles
Today is the day. By the way,
on May
we're
15th.
Eagles fans. Just gotta let y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, today is the day.
Well,
Start
for
of the
me,
NFL season.
for starters, I grew up an Eagles and Packers fan since '07.
Oh, seven people.
Mm-hmm. I'm fair when it comes to both these teams. I will criticize both of them, whether this team win or this team lose, vice versa. I never pick sides. I just watch the game and enjoy.
That's fair. I know people like that, but at least you're not like a division rival team and say, "Oh, of course I'm like a Chiefs and a Broncos fan." I'm like, how does that work? But there are people like that out there. I'm like, what? But yeah, man. So kicking off for the NFL, of course, last night we saw Chiefs Kingdom kick off in Arrowfield, inviting the Baltimore Ravens to a. It was almost close to the end, but
Mm-hmm.
we can talk about that. So, what do we think of Patrick Mahomes?
After that game, it's just the same old Patrick Mahomes.
Same old
People
Mahomes.
haven't figured them out, and when they do, they let up.
hmm I don't see the thing about him. Eventually, you see him play a lot, and it's hard to bet against a person like that because he's just so good, so dynamic. You can hate the Chiefs all you want because a lot of people hate them. Because if you're not
Mm-hmm.
successful, if you're not doing something right, then people aren't going to hate on you. But what Patrick Mahomes, what he can do on the field, it's magic right there. So we saw him take like Walmart employees to the Super Bowl last year. And he got it done. It was him and Kelsey on the offense, basically, and Pacheco. So,
And Tony.
Kadarius Tony. he was good for our Super Bowl versus the Eagles. Last one, oh, he didn't
Mm,
play. He didn't play that Super Bowl. He did. He did.
maybe.
I don't think he did.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I feel
I
like I
don't think he
saw
did.
them there.
Either way,
Either way,
we'll
he's
look
not that
back at it.
important.
And he's off the team, anyways. All respect to Kadarius, by the way, but it was inevitable.
All
They
respect.
did re-sign Juju Smith-Schuster. You know, was it last month? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on free agency up until then. I guess he wanted to re-sign with the Chiefs, so he remained open. But
Hmm.
yeah, Juju's back on the Chiefs, so they have a dynamic offense. It's very, very explosive because we see the speed with Rashid Rice and Xavier Worthy there, and Hollywood Brown, and he wasn't even there last night.
Nah.
So that's gonna be scary. And of course, you still got Travis Kelsey back there, Pacheco in the option. That's gonna be so dynamic, man.
You can't forget
So
about Taylor.
for all the Swifties watching this, we have nothing against Taylor Swift, but we just like to talk about the NFL mostly. Of course, like we're not huge Taylor Swift fans. No, we like her. She's not a bad person. She got great music, for a specific great audience. But of course, we keep it on the topic here. But
Hmm.
yeah, man, Taylor too. So yeah, we saw a great game yesterday. especially since two AFC powerhouses. This might have been the AFC Championship game.
Yep, it was the rematch.
It was the rematch, and we might just see this again later this year. I'm not sure if they play again in the regular schedule. I don't think so.
No, they don't.
They wouldn't have. They're
The
not
only time we're
division
gonna see
rivals.
them is if
But
we get the rematch.
yeah. But what we did see yesterday was a great kickoff for a great season. So of course we have this weekend. All most of the games are on Sunday as usual. We have the Monday Night Football, Jets and Niners. That's going to be one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, all eyes are on tonight, the Packers and Eagles. Again, we are Eagles fans. We're gonna have to talk about that. So the Packers, sleeper team, came out of nowhere last year. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
saw the Jordan Love hype coming. Came and it went, and it was pretty good. Good quarterback, got paid a lot of money this off season. Highest paid quarterback actually, apart from Mahomes. But by average, he's the highest paid because Mahomes' contract is so long. Yeah, but does he or does he, you know, come off to you as like a guy deserving that massive contract?
Me personally, after what he did last year, yeah,
Mhm.
because I just want to let this know when we started rebuilding and adding new pieces with the new pieces that were already there, and then Rogers was out the door, I had no faith in this team. I saw no playoff door open for us. It was until the Thanksgiving game against the Lions where I was like, oh, I see where we're going. And then we picked up after that. Then it was win after win after win. Then we slid into the playoffs. We called another win. We stomped out the Cowboys. And then we got to the Niners game, and the best team won. But that won't happen this year.
It's funny because y'all could have easily won that game.
I
So
personally
much
wanted,
wrong, so much wrong stuff happened.
I
But
personally
yeah,
wanted Lions and Packers NFC Championship.
yeah. And funny thing is, Lions could have beat them too. See, Niners just come down to like, if you ask me, that offense revolves around the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey is so damn good, man. Like if he goes down, that offense loses like 50% of their mobility. Don't get me wrong, Brock Purdy is a great quarterback. Can't deny that. You know,
He was
Eagles
so
fans, but
deadly
we got to
last
give our
year in the draft.
flowers. Got to give our flowers. But Debo, great receiver. Brandon Ayuk saw he just got his money after holding out for like nearly all off season. So that's explosives off offense. Can't forget about George Kittle. Many regard him as like the best tight end in the game. Could be. There's Kelsey, and of course we saw Isaiah Likely last night making a statement. We're gonna talk about him in a little bit, but yeah, it's very dynamic over there. But not here to talk about the Niners right now. So switching back towards the Packers, this offseason they picked up Josh Jacobs from the Raiders. The
Mm-hmm.
Raiders didn't want to re-sign him. Packers said, "Cool, we'll take him." And Aaron Jones was there, and he's now at a division rival with the Vikings. So that's going to be an interesting rivalry to look at. But yeah, Josh Jacobs a great pickup. We know he's a power back. He runs through a lot of people, a lot of tackles. Reminds me of Ladainian Tomlinson. You know, it's a Hall of Fame running back there. But yeah, it's going to be one thing. The Eagles defense going to have to step up. Devin White is out for the game, so the linebackers are looking a little thin. So if we can stop that run game, which we're going to see, because Josh Jacobs he's him,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be a lot of trouble for that defense. And it's a revitalized defense too. So we're going to have to see how Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, how he does, how he does in that matchup. Well,
Uh, Josh Jacobs, man, that was a steal pickup.
that was a steal. I
Raiders
guess it
are
was all money down the line, it's contracts. I guess Raiders don't want to pay him what he wanted. Packers said, okay, we'll do it. So yeah, it happens a lot in sports.
mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Man, I'm happy football's back.
Oh yeah. Most of America is. There
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of people tuned into the game last night.
And this game right here is a very special game because this is the
Of
first
course,
game back and the first game ever in Brazil and in South America in NFL history. And it's the first game on a Friday opening the weekend in 50 years.
was it great? That's actually great.
But
Brazil. Hmm.
even though we're happy about this, making history, being the first two teams there are some players that are unhappy about the Brazil trip for that game.
Yeah, some
Some
players
being
have voiced
Darius
their
Slay.
opinions about it. I've seen Darius Slay was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing against Brazil, great country. They have a great culture, but it's stereotypical things we're hearing about you know gangs and cartels, especially with the color green. And people were like, why would the NFL send two green teams to a country that signifies green as like a gang related thing? But that's neither here or there.
Mm-hmm.
But according to some media in Philadelphia, because Philadelphia media is all over the place when it comes to their takes, they think it's going to be dangerous for the organization and some of the fans to travel wearing green there. Um, you know, we'll see how that goes. So far, so good. I haven't heard anything.
Same here.
We're just gonna have to see.
But this game, I have do's and don'ts. What
Mm,
we should do and things we should not don't. Well, that we shouldn't do. So my first don't let Jordan Love find his rhythm. Don't.
of course not.
For my do's, the turnover battle. We need to start it off fast, immediately. And then we need to get off the field on them third downs. Because that was our problem last year.
Oh,
And it's just we need to
that
fix that.
said, that run game with Josh Jacobs, I think it's the best shot you got. I think
And
it's the best
then
shot.
then Devin White's going to be out with an ankle injury,
Hmm.
which I
And
hope he gets
I
better.
believe Eagles. I think they're cornerback two, the new quarterback two.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what was his name again? Rogers, Isaiah Rogers.
Yeah.
We picked him up from the Colts free agency. He was actually suspended last year, but how he kept him around. Now he looks really solid in preseason, especially in training. So yeah, he's out with a knee injury, I believe, or it was a hand injury, but he is out for the game nonetheless.
I
And
want to say knee,
mhm,
but I also want to say hand.
it was one of them. But regardless, that's going to be a huge. I think
Mhm.
it's going to be Eli Ricks or Kelly Ringo over there. Then we're going to have Quinion Mitchell in slot. For those Eagles fans that don't know yet, I think everybody knows this by now, but we're going to have almost a very, very new look on defense this year.
Yep. Love to
There
see
won't
it.
be any James Bradbury. I don't know how some of y'all feel about that, but he is injured until I believe at least end of October. That's the injury. I know some Eagles fans are like, let's go, but it's still our player at the end of the day, man. But it's gotta show him support. He is transitioning to safety. He's not a corner anymore. And according to Vic Fangio, he's doing pretty well there. So regardless of what we see on the tape, we gotta believe in Vic. So yeah,
Believe in Vic.
believe in
Because
Vic.
the last guy that was here, couldn't really believe in him as much.
Mhm.
But that's here and there.
Speaking of transitioning to safety, another player, Avante Maddox, a slot god for Philadelphia, is going to safety. So that's going to be one to watch. So we might see him in a couple plays, and I don't really know who the starting safeties would probably be. Of course, it's going to be CJ Gardner Johnson being the free safety.
Mm-hmm.
Strong, maybe it's Reed Blankenship, but we have so much versatility back there. So yeah, again, that defense is going to be so versatile. Whatever Jordan Love's going to see for the majority, it's going to be confusing because with this Eagles defense, they're going to be in motion. They're going to be changing, adjusting, and of course, we can't forget about that D line. It's probably the most treacherous D line in the league. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff from the Jets. That's a great pickup. Brandon Graham in his last year. He's still solid. No more Fletcher Cox. He retired last year. We all love Big Fletch, Hall of Famer in the future, of course.
Mm-hmm.
hmm But he left. He left it in good hands, man, because that D line is looking real scary. Of course, we got backups Marlon Tuipulotu and Vincent Williams, great D tackles too. So that's gonna be a solid game to watch. That Packers O line is no joke either. I still believe we got the edge in O line. Of course, we got a new O line for those who don't know. Jason Kelsey retired last year.
Mm-hmm.
Great center, first ballot Hall of Famer too.
Thank you for everything, Jason.
Thank you for everything. hmm New
Top
center
three.
Cam Jurgens, personally picked by Jason Kelsey himself. You know, out of the draft. This guy is gonna be great. This guy's gonna replace me. This guy's gonna lead the Eagles one day. I believe it. Jurgens played he played left guard last year. He looked pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So blocking wise, I think he got it. But we should talk about who the Eagles picked up in free agency to put on that O line. Mekhi Becton, former Jets first round pick. He
I
played
love it.
right tackle. Me too. This could be the biggest steal in like Eagles history, to be honest. Because looking at Mekhi Becton, that guy was a first round pick for a reason. Top
Yep.
10 pick too. He didn't work out for the Jets, I guess for their scheme, but they're forgetting one important detail. Jeff like Stoutland,
Mm-hmm.
our offensive line coach, can turn a brick into a wall. Like that guy, it's got to be the best offensive line coach in the league.
The
And with
greatest.
a talent like Mekhi Becton, and he's coming in to play right guard beside Lane Johnson, I have no regrets that we're going to be locking up a lot of teams this year.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, on the left side, we got Jordan Mailata, one of the best left tackles in the league already. Being that he used to play rugby, big guy, 6'8", very very strong, very powerful. Beside him, Lander Dickerson. He was a
My
Pro
boy.
Bowler, All Pro, Lander Dickerson. So yeah, it's gonna be good, man.
But back to the defense. Since
hmm
Devin White is going to be in this game,
hmm
the one thing I'm worried about is that why this would hurt the Eagles. One being we're thin at linebacker. Two, the Packers have two good young tight ends in Kraft and Musgrave. Three, Dean is inexperienced at the moment.
He is.
Those are my three major red flags. but I feel like we can handle it. It's just the
And this
tight
is why the
ends.
Josh
It's
Jacobs
the
thing
tight
is going
ends.
to be crucial because with Devin White is a real solid linebacker. I love how we picked him up, but him not being there, I think that run game's gonna. If the D line can't stuff them at the line, I'm still confident they can. But in case they break, you know, can they stop them? Linebackers are the only thing on the Eagles for years that have looked controversial. So one position, probably apart from safety, but it's the one position Eagles have always looked thin on, no matter what. So
Hmm.
that's gonna be one thing. It was a reason why when Jonathan Gannon was here on the Super Bowl run, we played 5 men on D line and two linebackers. I don't know if you guys remember Kaiser White.
Yes.
He was really solid back then, man.
He was holding down the fort,
He was holding down the fort back then. Of
and
course, we had
then
the
once he
five
left,
on D line. It's great to reminisce as a Eagles fan, especially that NFC Championship game with against the Niners. That a lot of people still mad about. We didn't win because we didn't have a quarterback. Like, hey,
goodness.
you guys can't block a tight end on Hassan Reddick and expect everything to go well. To this day, you're seeing the Niners fans.
I can't wait to
If we
get to
had
them.
Purdy,
I can't
would
wait
have
to
won.
get to them.
We're gonna play them this year
I'm
down the
looking forward
line. For those who don't know, we will play the Niners down the line rematch. I
to
believe it's one of the late games, but it is confirmed, and I'm excited for that because this is a revitalized team. So one thing I did want to talk about, and it is Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts' relationship. I've been seeing a lot of things from the media. Philadelphia media, you can take it with a grain of salt, but
really.
you know, you can. But this is something you can't just brush by. It was rough last season. It was rough. But the start of the season looked solid. Most of the games that they won up until like week 12, it looked good, but those games were really close. And one of the things that Jalen Hurts gets a lot of praise for is like he finds ways to win games. The
Hmm.
defense was
To be desired.
yeah,
Me personally, I'm just using that word to be nice.
yeah.
Because boy,
Because not to call any names, but we all know, people who miss tackles and didn't do good enough. But not to put them on the spot here. We're trying to be a family friendly podcast here, but yeah, the defense did not look solid at all. But they did their stuff up until week 12, and then everything just fell apart. I did like the way how Sirianni felt we should replace defensive coordinators in the middle of the season and just hope for the best. I don't know what he wanted to do there, but yep, Matt Patricia. For those who don't know, former Patriots defensive coordinator, former Lions head coach. Great guy, great mind defensively, but of course, not our cup of tea.
I will say
Didn't
this:
work out for us.
the first game when he took over as the coordinator for the defense,
Hmm.
I liked it because it was a breath of fresh air.
It
But
looked
remember,
different.
it was just one game.
It was just one
That
game,
second
and
out the
wait,
window.
hold on, okay, fans. We won't judge off one game. We won't do that. Just gonna make that clear. If
Hmm.
we see something, we won't criticize. We'll just say, you know what, he can do better. It can be better. But if we see it multiple times and it's reoccurring, let's say like a,
Yeah,
a certain receiver is dropping too many balls, you know, not to put any names out there, but we all know how Kadarius Toney was for the Chiefs last year. How Chiefs fans literally wanted him out for a long time. He costed them some games.
we feel y'all pain,
Especially
Chiefs fans. We were
we,
there.
we, we understand. We were there. But yeah, we won't criticize, based off one game. But if it's a recurring thing, just like that, we will voice our opinions. But, yep.
Hope we don't have that problem.
We have all stars on the team, so I hope not. And speaking of receivers, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. How will the Packers cover that? Because if you double team one, how are you gonna deal with the other? And plus, Dallas Goddard is there, so what are you gonna do?
So
And
here's the
that's not
thing.
all. You already know who's in the backfield. Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
So you see me giving Josh Jacobs his flowers earlier. Here, you gotta get ready for this one.
Three
Behind
times.
that,
Three times.
behind that O line, this man could look even better than CMC. That might be a bold take, but I'm just gonna stand by it. Because this O line, it can make it work.
But the wide receiver situation,
Yeah, how are you gonna
you
deal with
know, who
that?
can cover them?
Hmm.
Because you have Alexander.
Jair, yes.
I see him being on AJ throughout the whole game.
And the
That's
thing
gonna be
about AJ
the
now,
one.
the funny thing about AJ is his size. Even if Jair is a top corner, which he is, the thing about AJ, which makes him so dangerous, is that he's the number one receiver in the league when it comes to one-on-one matchups because of his physicality. He's that good
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to matchups one-on-one. His man coverage, AJ Brown is like the best at you know putting his body on the DB and making those catches. First, you get your Tyreek Hills. He's speed. He exposes zone coverage and he beats man. But a guy like AJ Brown out there is lighting up defenses. And don't get me started on Devontae Smith. Because if you can double team AJ, which I don't think they'll do because Gary will be on him, they might put a double team on Smith. But here's what they can't do. Jahan Dotson is there too. He would be a wide receiver to on a lot of teams here. And the Eagles picked him up from Washington, which is a rare trade thing
That was a
in
steal.
in a division that was
Again.
surprising. But yeah, so yeah, Dotson and Goddard will be there. So I'd imagine if the Eagles do spread offense, five wide, you can't man coverage everybody. Someone's gonna be open.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's gonna be open, and we all
And
know.
you know who that is?
Oh,
Dallas.
good.
He's gonna be the open man.
Who's gonna cover
Remember,
him?
and remember how he didn't get enough targets last year
Mm-hmm.
because he's gonna be the open man. He's gonna have either the second or be number one on the team in catches.
I believe. I believe so. Eagles love their tight ends. Which is should I say how he loves his tight ends. It's tight end university over here. So we all know the great Zach Ertz. We'll be playing him later this year. Surprisingly, he's on the Washington Commanders right now, so we'll see that reunion real soon. So yeah, Dallas Goddard, I can see him leading the team in receptions if he stays healthy. He's that good of a tight end. We saw we saw how great tight ends are being utilized these days. Last night it was a great example. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely in that dynamic Ravens offense. So it's very exciting to see how Dallas Goedert will be used this season.
Mm-hmm. But
Mm.
now on to our quarterback. And my question is, my first question: can Hurts get back to his 2022 or early 2023 self?
Hey, I'm be honest with you. It does depend on how comfortable Hurts is with the offense. New offensive coordinator didn't mention this before in the stream, but it's Kellen Moore. Great guy, great mind. He was with Dallas before. He helped out the run game over there. Um, but when it comes to like shifting offenses and motions, Kellen Moore is one of the best in the league. That's what how we saw, and that's what how we wanted. So he got Kellen Moore in the offensive coordinator. With this dynamic offense, I believe he might be unstoppable if everybody stays healthy. Now, when it comes to quarterbacks, Jordan Love, great, good respect for him. Let's talk about Hurts right now. Jalen Hurts coming off of last season, he looked pretty good early on. He was actually in the MVP race for a long while until
Mm-hmm.
it fell apart. So what I think about Hurts, he is our quarterback one. I have great confidence for the guy, mad respect. uh, but I just wonder if he's comfortable in the situation being with like Nick Sirianni. And again, Philadelphia media to take it with a grain of salt. Is he comfortable with Sirianni, being there, in his ear a lot, being the head coach? Kellen Moore is going to be calling the plays here and there, but being the head coach, Sirianni is going to step in and be like, "Hey, I don't like how this play looks. Can you change it?" Is their relationship good enough? I hope so, because that's going to be the difference between us being back in the Super Bowl and us having an early postseason exit.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to see the Eagles losing in the wild card again, because that was very very painful, especially to the Buccaneers. Like, we're better. And the funny thing is, we did beat that Buccaneers team earlier this season when things were going better. We lost to them in the wild card, and that just proves you how bad it got in the latter end of the season. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, back on Jalen Hurts, I have no issues with him whatsoever. He can throw, he can run. He's very explosive. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league when it comes to reading the defense. It's very very option heavy offense right there. So no confidence whatsoever in whatever he can not do. But when it comes to like his play, full confidence.
So I love to hear. But
Hmm.
speaking of the Nick Sirianni situation, that leads into my second question.
Hmm.
What will happen to Nick Sirianni?
So this is an interesting concept here. Because of the Jalen Hurts contract situation, he got paid big money. He's the franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If things do not work out this year, let's say the Eagles get 8 wins for whatever reason. Let's say it's somehow worse than last season. Nick Sirianni will be sacked as head coach because it's easier to get rid of your head coach than your franchise quarterback that's getting paid a lot of money. You
Mm-hmm.
have to remember that it's easier to get rid of the head coach. And a lot of people, not me included, but Philadelphia media still thinks that Nick Sirianni has this immature nature of him. He's a loudmouth. He gets into conflicts, and yeah, I mean, we see it. Some people call it passion. Some people say, "Oh, he's getting in over his head." But again, I just gonna have to see how that goes with the relationship with him and Jalen Hurts. Again, the only thing I have against the offense is that relationship right there. Everything else looks great. So it's gonna be one to see.
I think their relationship, it's stable right now. Like, it's stable. It, we'll see the change, positive or negative, throughout the season. Because how he's going to see it like this: it's not going to be the losses. It's not going to be the relationship with any of the players on the field. It's going to be the one and only relationship with Hertz and Sirianni. Because the moment he sees Hertz upset with something, not just once, but like a couple of times throughout the games, and it's occurring, the first thing he gonna do is get rid of Nick because he's going to see it like this: we fixed everything. We replaced, we replaced the two people that need to be replaced, it, and we did everything that came from your idea. And our quarterback is still upset with you and some of the calls that you're making. That hot seat about to be an empty seat.
And yeah, and the great thing about the NFL, if coordinators look good on major teams, they can just get snatched up like head coach. That's what they did our Super Bowl year. We
Yep.
lost two great coordinators in Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. Two great coordinators. And of course, and nothing against Gannon, we just weren't prepared for that Chiefs Super Bowl game. The defense could adjust, but Gannon's one of the best defensive minds in the league. He's doing a great job. Being head coach over the Cardinals. Cardinals believe in him, so I think it'll be pretty good. Shane Steichen's over at the Colts, being head coach. So yeah, um, coordinators will be taken regardless of like status. So if we do great this season, which I believe we will, most likely we will be losing one of our coordinators or both. Hopefully not both, to head coaching. And if Sirianni doesn't work out, vice versa, we'll take one of the great coordinators and turn them into a head coach. So options are there. So I'm not worried, but I am worried about the current status. So I hope, for all of our sakes, that Sirianni and Hurts have a great relationship, and it's not weighing down on the plays, especially when it comes down to winning games, must-win games and must-win drives. When you're gonna have Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts' helmet, just telling him what they're seeing, the plays. I just hope there's not going to be like a mix-up there. So yeah, we'll see.
I feel like if we do have the season that we're thinking in our head that we will have,
Yeah,
and one of them gets picked up for a coaching job, it's going to be the offensive coordinator.
Kellen
He
Moore
has he
is
has
a
the best
great
chance
mind.
because the thing with Vic, they're not
Mhm.
going to think about how his ego season went. They're going
Yeah.
to look at what was the whole controversy with those Miami players.
hmm
They're not going to look at, oh, you did good, you did great.
And if
No,
you
they're
ask
going to look
me,
at the year before.
mhm, if you ask me, they didn't even do that bad in Miami. They had so much injuries at one point that Vic just had to play with what he had.
Mm-hmm.
And Vic was coming off being a head coach for the Denver Broncos. And the Broncos defense was no joke when he was there. So
Mm-mm.
he knows how to transition and shift his defense. And that's one thing the Eagles really missed the last 2 years. So yeah, I believe him coming in here will be very dynamic. And of course, tonight will be very exciting because of course we're playing an NFC powerhouse in the Packers. So just like the Chiefs and Ravens game, two powerhouses, we're gonna go right back to it with two of the NFC powerhouses. So, and Eagles' schedule is not easy either. We'll be seeing some great teams on the line. And of course, I said this to Dom before. I do expect to sweep Dallas. And remember, Dallas sucks, people. Remember, every time Dallas sucks, it's an Eagles thing. So we will expect to sweep them this year.
You know what?
Expect to. hmm
The Cowboys suck,
hmm
but Jerry Jones is trash. Like I'm an Eagles fan, and I get our rivalry. I don't feel y'all pain, but I feel for y'all having that man as y'all owner, and y'all say so, and y'all final word. That is tragic.
It's tragic because some of the things Jerry says, I think it's an ego thing, but being the GM, the owner, the guy that talks the most, not there's anything wrong with it. It's just the things he's saying and like the decision making he's not, implementing in the team. So this offseason, the Cowboys basically did nothing. They brought Zeke back, great, I guess, but we're all right. No one's worried about that, if we're being honest. Zeke is past his prime. Yep, he's past his prime. Um, of course, Jerry thinks he still got it. I think it's basically um, um, reminiscing about his prime years, and of course, you're bringing him back. Zeke was in the Patriots, by the way, guys. He was their power back with Ramondre Stevenson, so he didn't do too bad over there. Patriots offense isn't really what they used to be, but Zeke is definitely not what he used to be. So we'll see how that goes. But not neither here or there. Gary Jones. We saw how he took so long to pay CD Lamb. Great receiver, by the way. Definitely top five.
He took too long.
Too long, and that could
Too long.
be detrimental on the team. Because CD being out that long on preseason, is he on the same page? Does he know the plays that well? I'd hope so. Well, of course, as Eagles fans, we wouldn't give, wouldn't care. But, you know, it's a bad look because that's your number one receiver. Somebody who not only takes most of your offensive, he takes your offense to a different level, but you not being able to giving him the money he deserves for so long, that could hinder the relationship. So what's going to happen when Micah Parsons needs to be paid? When Dak is on the table right now, will they pay Dak or will they let him walk? If you want my honest opinion, they should pay that man. Because if they don't and they let Dak walk, they're going back. They're taking a big step backwards as a franchise. Because Dak is not a bad quarterback at all. As Eagles fans, we're gonna be like, okay, yeah, well, yeah, Dak, we don't like him because Cowboys, Eagles, but we gotta give him his
That's a
flowers.
nice way of putting it.
Hmm.
We don't like him.
Yeah,
Eh, nah. We
we
don't
respect
love
him.
him. We
We don't
respect
love
him,
him.
but we don't
Yeah,
love you.
but Dak is a great quarterback. Yes, he he definitely improved this last year. He was in an MVP run up until the end. So yeah, he was second in MVP voting, runner up. So yeah, if they don't pay him, that would be really, really stupid. But unless they get some blockbuster trade or some high draft pick for next year's draft, who knows? And I've seen rumors that Deion Sanders is going to get implemented into that Dallas coaching staff. And of course, he's going to bring his son, Shador Sanders, from Colorado. Not going to really talk about college football here. Season's just getting started over there, too. But when it comes to Colorado, a lot of Dion things going on, and we all know Dion and Cowboys go hand in hand. Shador and the Cowboys, interesting, but that's still going to be a big step back from Dak Prescott. So if they let Dak Prescott walk after this year, that's going to be a big, big issue for Cowboys fans.
See, the thing with that is, I don't want none of you know the Sanders going over there, especially the Suns. I get your dad was over there.
Mhm.
He won, a championship, but I just follow your own path.
Yeah.
I get it's the Cowboys, big market, big franchise, one
Hmm.
title in the past. It's they're so loved.
No
I
pun intended.
want them to catch that Cowboys hate.
Yeah.
It's, I just, please stay away. And Dion,
You stay away indeed. But yeah, we have to wrap up this segment of the NFL talk. But tonight will be our official kickoff, Packers and Eagles fans. But this week in the NFL, we have great games, great matchups. Seeing how we have Dallas versus the Browns. That's going to be one to watch. I have the Browns upsetting them. Browns are a good team. We have Lions and Rams. That's going to be my second game of the week, apart from Packers and Eagles, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We have Colts and Texans. That's going to be one to watch.
That's gonna be a great game.
That's going to be a great game. And this might be a surprise to people, but Broncos Seahawks will be one to watch too. As Bo Nix being the starter quarterback now, he looked very good in preseason. Very, very good. Seahawks, they have Geno Smith. We all know Geno is a dog over there. You know, they gave Geno his money. I believe I mean, he's not looked at as the franchise quarterback, kind of like the Baker Mayfield situation in Tampa Bay, but he is the quarterback for them right now, and he's an above average quarterback. I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
So that game is gonna be pretty good. Broncos Seahawks 4 o'clock. Don't miss it, people. So
But
yeah.
before we do go,
Hmm.
I want to at least give our record predictions.
Of course.
So for me, I don't have this in any order. I just have where the teams I win, where we have winning, and the
Hmm.
teams that we are losing to, and I have my whys.
All right, cool, cool,
So
cool. I can do the
so
same.
wins, I have us beating Packers. Sorry,
Hmm.
Packer fans.
Hmm.
Falcons, Browns, Giants in our first game, Jaguars, Commanders in our second game, Cowboys in the first game, Rams, Panthers, Steelers, and Cowboys in their second game. Now, losses: Saints, Buccaneers, Bengals, Commanders in our
Mm.
first game, and Ravens. And I have our record being 13-4. I still think week
Okay.
5 is a week and too early bye week. And my reasons why our record will be the way it is: one, the division is winnable,
Yeah.
better
Very
coordinator,
winnable. Very, very
and
winnable.
a much better roster.
Yes.
But those are my predictions. Demar, what are yours?
All right. So this season, it's not, schedule it's not as worse as it was last season. That's thankfully. So yeah, my schedule predictions. Let me see. All right. So of course tonight we're gonna have a very very high octane battle with the Green Bay Packers in Brazil. I have them. I have us beating them. It's gonna be close, I believe. If it does get away, I think that will be because of our new dynamic offense. But I have us winning that game. Um, versus Atlanta in week 2, I have us winning that one. Saints week 3, I have us winning. Tampa Bay, I have that as a revenge game. We're definitely winning that one. We have a bye week in week 5. Week 6, Cleveland Browns. Toss up. I can take a loss there. Cleveland is a good team. We usually have trouble playing them. Um, Deshaun Watson, probably not as great as he was before, but he's still an explosive player. One to watch out for. Again, it's a toss up, but if we were to lose at any point, I'll put the first loss there. New York Giants. Giants are just not the same team as they were before either. They got significantly worse. Daniel Jones doesn't come off to me as a great quarterback either. Respect to him and what he's doing over there, but again, it's looking real tough over there for Giants fans. So we're winning that one. Cincinnati Bengals. I can take another loss right there. Bengals are not a sleeper team either. Um, I can take the loss there. That probably will be a toss-up game as well. It just depends. Like, by the way, this can change at any point, guys. Of course, Bengals have Joe Burrow over there. Very, very great player. We'll just see how that goes. But yeah, I can see us taking the loss there. Um, After that, week 9, Jacksonville, tough game. I don't lie, but I think we have better players in every position, so we'll beat them. I said earlier that we'll sweep Dallas, and I still believe that. So week 10, we're gonna have Dallas Cowboys at their home stadium. So I believe we'll win that game. We usually win the first game with Dallas, anyways. And right after that, another division rival, first Washington game. I believe we'll win this one at home. We tend to play close games with Washington, great team. So we'll see about that. Week 12, Los Angeles Rams. Another toss up game. However, I believe that this game is not as big as I think it will be. Aaron Donald is a huge loss for them, especially, since they're coming off of not a great season, but, they found Puka Nakua, and he's a very electric player. Pairing him up with like Cooper Cup and, you know, Van Jefferson, it's going to be very, very explosive on that offense. Kyron Williams, too, the running back, it's going to be very explosive, but that defense is very suspect. I have us winning that game, though, but it could be close. Baltimore Ravens on 13. Judging by what I saw last night, I think we can beat them. But then again, teams change throughout the season. Baltimore is a powerhouse team. I believe we can. I could take the loss there, but against Lamar versus Jalen, we'll see how that goes. Week 14, Panthers. Panthers. We'll just have to see how that goes. Not the greatest team right now. Carolina is going, downhill spiral. The
It's
O
not their
line,
fault.
it's not their fault.
They got a car seat quarterback.
Yes, but we're just gonna have to see how that goes. I have us winning that game regardless. Week 15, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. We usually have great games against them. Usually we win them. Recently, that is. Pittsburgh is a team that's going through a lot of controversy right now, quarterback wise. Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Which one will it work? Which one will it be? We'll just have to wait and see. But I have us winning that game. I feel like the defense is enough to stop what we have on offense, and their offense is very, very controversial right now. But yeah, week 16, Washington again. And here's what I said earlier. We usually split with Washington. If we can sweep them, sure. But they're the one team in our division that somehow we play them, it looks like the toughest team in the league. They always play good against us. So I see us playing them. So it's gonna be a good games between the two series. But yeah, Dallas, I still believe we're sweeping them this year. They don't really have the dynamic offense that they once had. Defense wise, it's still there, but we'll see. And last game, of course, New York Giants. I believe we're sweeping them too. It's just up to like what we're seeing in the midseason. So our record, I gave like 3 toss-up wins, losses. I believe we could go. How about 14-3? I believe 14-3 is fair, but our only losses coming to Washington, Baltimore, Cleveland/Cincinnati. If we could go 13-4, then we could add Cincinnati and Cleveland. But yeah, regardless, those will be enough games to get us the first round seed, I believe, because the Niners' schedule doesn't look soft either. And I believe we will play the Niners. I said it earlier. We will play them down the road again, either in the divisional or the NFC Championship, and that will be a revenge game, of course. So yeah, schedule looks
Oh
great,
boy.
and we'll see how that goes. So that's it for the NFL segments.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
And wait,
Niners, you hear this sound?
Niners,
That's for y'all.
you're in trouble.
Time to park this
You
foot
are in trouble.
where you know.
Our sun
But
don't shine.
it's time to come a close to this great opener of the After Hour Pod.
Just hit the hour mark, people.